right, first of all, let the folks know who you are.
My name is Tucker. I'm a student from cohort 1, and I would say that something quick about me is that I love to express my view of the world through poetry and rhyme.
Thank you, Tucker, for chatting today. Tell us what we got in front of us here.
So this is Tucker's brain map. It was my brainchild several weeks ago, and it came from the overwhelm of keeping everything inside of my head. I figured that I would have a lot more creative space and a lot more room to play around with my mind if I let everything out onto something that was part of the world. And when I started, I didn't know what I was doing or what I was going for, but now this is a rough draft of a vision board, if you will. There's several aspects to this that I wanted to note, and I think that it's important for me to know that there's, you know, the very realistic things like paying my rent and like affording food and making sure that I can keep up maintenance on my truck, but there's also more abstract things that are Tucker's idyllic visions for the world and the way that he would like to see things. And those are something that I find important because it reminds me that it's important to have something to work towards and to have optimism and vision and hope for the future as well. Another thing that this brain map helps me with is to express myself in an open way so that I don't appear as closed off to other people. Why are people afraid of each other? Why is change so hard? Why is being vulnerable difficult? And what is the most common human characteristic? What is politics without bureaucracy? And why is commitment so hard? So those are more of just a very curious, childish sense of wonder about the world and why these things happen the way they do. I would also say that ambitions are something that I think of almost in the present, almost as if, you know, this is something that's going to come to bear pretty soon. For instance, engaging with his ancestry, but specifically Native American ancestry. I know that in my family line, there's Native in my blood, and I would like to know more about that. I would like to know why that is a piece of me and where it comes from. Loving the poetry and loving the writing, loving self-expression, there's this opportunity to work with prisoners so that they too can write their story and feel validated and understand that there are people in the world who care about them as human beings. Something else that comes along with this creation is the recognition that there's a lot of things in life that I'm interested in, and there's a lot of topics to talk about and to write about. And one thing that has become evident at Wayfinding is that time is valuable, and that the resources that are offered here are mind-blowing, but at the same time finite, in the sense that in a year I will be done with this program. And I think that having all of this out for me to see gives me an opportunity to really suss out what is important to me and what is worth working on, and what can either be put in the banks for later or simply let go of. It sort of explicitly shows the attachment that my mind can have to certain things in the world, and, you know, the desire, the need to hold on to a certain concept or idea or experience, and yet having it out here kind of gives me the freedom to release whatever piece of unnecessary information or baggage I don't need and that isn't benefiting me. And so I think that the relation between wayfinding and this brain map for me is the opportunity to really hone in on the important pieces of my life and what I am really here for, and the opportunity to truly understand what I will do next, what my next step will be. I think there's a general direction that this takes me in for that.
Well, Tucker, thank you for sharing this with us and taking the time to talk through some of it. Appreciate it.